Hello and welcome to Tabletop 24, and thank you for joining us for this unboxing of the Heavy Play range of accessories. You may have noticed, if you do follow along with the channel, that Heavy Play were one of our main event sponsors for the UK Flesh and Blood National Championships held recently. Part of that is we wanted to get some of their products in and show them off to you. You'll notice we've got a few different range of items out in front of us. We've got some deck boxes, we've got some token boxes, the ETB Playmat, and some inner and outer sleeves. All of this is available direct from Heavy Play and some of their distributors. I'll pop in the link to the description below where you can go and check that out. But first off, what we must say is, whilst most of the ranges have the colours that you will see in front of us, some of the ranges, particularly like the RSG Dice Box Max, come in fewer colours. But we've tried to represent every colour that is available in some of the lines. So do check out the website for more details if you see a colour that you like. And we're just going to get underway and start opening some of this stuff. Now, I've pre-opened a little bit of it because I didn't want to be messing around with everything whilst we've got you guys waiting and to see some of these products. So first off, we're going to start with the ETB Playmat. Now, you'll notice this as we go through all of the products, that there is the Equip Mag system, which is trademarked to Heavy Play. And that is essentially some magnets in there that allows everything to just sort of gel together and be carried and transported together. So you can just pick and choose which deck boxes you're taking rather than having to swap whole sets out. So we're going to start off with this ETB Playmat. I'm going to open this up. Like I said beforehand, we've opened some of it, so we haven't got to faff too much. So here we go. I'm just going to get rid of that off to the one side. So first off, looks like potentially like a notebook case or a laptop case or folio, and then you'll just open this up here and open it there, and then you will see this lovely felt interior, and it's quite stiff, sturdy, and obviously to fold it up you'll just do that and you can slip it straight in your backpack. So it does fold down, which is quite nice, and this felt interior with the rubber back is actually really quite nice, and you'll notice that it's in sort of two-tone, so you get a really vibrant colour on the inside. I think all of the ETB mats are the same, so we'll see some of the colour variations as we go through some of the deck boxes. But that Equip Mag system that's going to be down this side is going to be really important when it comes to sort of carrying things around. We're then going to start off with the RNG deck box, dice box, and the RSG deck box. So these are on the smaller end of the sort of accessory set, and we're going to have a look at those. And these are probably more for everyday decks, shall we say. And we've got here, notice it's got some protective film on it. This one's obviously in the Druid Green. Literally snap off from the side. Will hold 100 cards, and I'm assuming that'll be 100 sleeved. We've got a few cards, some of our Flesh and Blood cards, out to one side, so you can see what actually fits on where. So obviously standard cards are going to fit straight in. We do have some of these, like some of the bigger snaps, which do fit, but they are a bit snug, so I would recommend that. And obviously we won't recommend putting in a top loader, but we get a nice 100 card deck in there, and then that's going to go together a little bit nice like that. To go along with that is the RNG dice box, and I'll open that there. Now, so we've said about the Equip Mag system, and part of that with this dice box is that that's actually self-loaded into here, and you'll notice it snaps back. Pop that open like that, so the magnets will sort of allow you to pull everything apart, but also you can stack it on top, so like that. Pop all your little tokens or anything in there. I suppose if you really wanted to, you could pop some small cards in there, and then put everything back together. And then, and this is the unique feature obviously of the Equip Mag system, is snap everything together and away you go. You can take that with you, and that's not coming off there unless you're putting gold cards into it. But at the same time, you can just flip it away. Now, we've said that about the Equip Mag, but also on the ETB Playmat, you'll notice here, once it's all folded up, I'm not going to fold it all away now, is that is quite sturdy and will stick to your mat. So when you fold it up and want to carry it away, you can just stick everything together. And like I say, these are not just going to fall off. You are going to have to properly do some specific movement to get them off from there. But once your dice box is attached to your deck box, you can still use it as well as a tray and take it all the way out. Obviously, there is nowhere for that to attach, but you're probably not going to take it all the way out if that's what you're going to do with it. And again, alternatively, you can just use it like that. Put that together. So that is the RNG dice box and the RSG deck box. But if that's not enough for you, you can go on to the RFG deck box max and the RNG dice box max. Now these are sort of more of the luxury end of the accessory set, and they come in a really nice finish. You see this one that we've got here in the cleric white. You've got a nice window to display your sort of hero or commander or anything you want to pop up in front. We've got this magnetic bottom that will then flip round, and you've got a nice bit of storage that you can do in there. And we're going to go again. So obviously you're going to fit your cards quite nicely in here. So we've got some sleeve cards. And let's see about these. Yeah, so they're a bit tight for those, but what I do know is these will go in this way, which is really nice. A lot of deck boxes you struggle to put in the mini snaps. So this is going to be really nice. And there's going to be something that's really good about this when we get towards the end, and I'll show that. And this one most looks excited about this range. Now again, you're going to struggle with a top loader, but don't you always? So that's our nice little RSG deck box max. So click that away, and that goes away quite nicely. And then we are going to get into the Noble Purple dice box max. So let's do that there. It's going to be very similar to the regular dice box, but you do get this nice sort of faux leatherette finish on it, which I do really like. And again, we've noticed the dual colour you've got here on the playmat. You also get this dual colour here on some of the dice boxes and some of the deck boxes. So just, that's quite nice to have. Again, comes with the magnetic sort of lock on the cases. And again, you can put the dice box on top. But with the dice box max, it's magnetic on both sides. Now this is the bit that I'm really looking forward to, because that means, for me with my mini snaps and my Flesh and Blood deck, I'm going to stick my mini snaps in here. This is going to have my equipment in. And then I'm going to put all my tokens, I'm going to stick them in there like that. And then I'm going to get another deck box, which has got my main deck or my sideboard in, and I'm going to stick that to the back there. And then you've got your whole range there together. And you can see, yeah, I'm not throwing it across the room, but it takes a lot to get that to come off there. But the advantage obviously with that is everything's all together. And again, they will stick to the playmat. I probably wouldn't recommend stacking two things on top of each other on your playmat, purely on the basis that it probably is just one of them's gonna fall off. But again, if you just want somewhere to store something, you've got that sort of advantage there. One thing I will say is what I have noticed is these Dice Box Max magnets are really strong. So they're good as that sort of middle sort of catalyst between two decks. And they're a lot stronger than I think putting two deck boxes together. But you can still do that. You can still put two deck boxes together and not have token trays. So if your game requires you to have just the deck boxes, you can do that. And obviously you can do the same with the same deck boxes. So you could have two of the maxes together or two of just the regular deck box together. But I really do like the idea that I can stick my maxes together, and also, like I say, for me, being able to put these pieces of equipment in these mini snaps inside these cases and then just transport them with my deck. Being a Flesh and Blood player, there's a number of equipment items that you want to carry with you to sideboard in and out for different heroes, and having that one box with all of these in, I think this is going to fit maybe 10, 15 pieces of equipment in snaps, which for your average deck is going to be more than enough for Flesh and Blood. And obviously, if you're a collector of different games, I think it'll work just as well for you for those. So yeah, pop that off to one side. And lastly, in the deck box range, we've got the RFG Deck Box Max. 133 DS. Now this is for, I'm going to imagine, your Commander style players for Magic, and just gives you that bit of extra storage space. Now this is in the Barbarian Red, which I think is really, really nice. So it's again got this two-tone colour, the faux leatherette on there, sort of protective cover, and then flip top lid again. Got all that storage in there. Now obviously for this one, I'm not really going to be storing my mini snaps in it, because it's just a little bit too tight that way and probably a bit too big that way. But it is going to quite nicely fit all of my other cards that are in there. So do check that out if you're a Commander player. I think that's going to work for you quite nicely. And yet again, it will attach to all of the other items in the range. And I think that's, look at that. What more are you going to need cards wise? Again, even if you do need more, you can put two of these onto a token tray. And I'm guessing, I haven't got a spare Max with me, Dice Box Max, but I'm fairly sure if you really wanted to, you could put that with that again the other side. So a lot of options there if for any type of play. And again, even if you're into like your RPGs, you're going to be able to use those for that as well. So those were all of our deck boxes and our ETB. But the next thing we're going to take a look at are going to be these sleeves. And here we finish off the final bits of the colour range. So we've got Shaman Red, which I think is on this dice deck box here, and also the Artificer Grey. So this sort of finishes off all of the available colours. Now again, I will say this for a second time, some of the colours are only available on certain items in the range, but most of, particularly on the regular range, I think every colour is available. But don't quote me on that. Whereas I know for the 133 DS Max that it's not, I think there's only 4 colours for this, but check out the website if you do fancy one of these colours in something else. So you can see all the variations that you can do for that. Link will be in the description below. But obviously, thinking outside the box as Heavy Play do, the next thing we've got are these inners and outer sleeves. Now you may see that these are curved sleeves, and that's because these sleeves are slightly different. Now, excuse slightly battered box there, but we're going to get these open. We're going to open one of each of these so you can see them. Right, so I don't know if you're going to be able to see here. That is a normal sleeve, but on the bottom of this here, so if I can do it on here, you may be able to see, I'm trying to see if I can bring this up to the camera. Actually, the bottom of the sleeve is curved rather than like straight, so that when you put your card in it, says that, you can get it. Oh, it goes in from there. Aha. So when you put your card in it, it curves with the bottom of the card. So when you're holding them, it's not going to be that stabby, pokey feeling that you can get with some of the other cards and other brands. I know there's a big discussion between Dragon Shield and Katanas, which one's sharper. Well, not curve in Heavy Play because they're actually really smooth. So you've got your regular inners, which are sort of semi-flimsy, but if you like that little bit more dexterous feel, you can also go for the hard inners, which are essentially a thicker plastic. So let's do that there. So, oh yeah, you can really feel that. These sort of light, what you'd normally expect from a sleeve, and these are, I think these might be 100 micron. Yeah, 100 micron. So they're quite thicker. It doesn't tell me how many microns the base ones are, but it does feel at least probably double the thickness. So yeah, again, we'll pop that in there. Now for me, whenever I double sleeve, I always go the wrong way, and I always sleeve the same way twice, which I know is blasphemous for a lot of people. But again, I don't know if you're going to quite see. Bring this up here. You've got that nice smooth edge there, and then obviously the pointy edge at the top, which is really, really nice. And that thicker sleeve, I think, is going to be really, really good for, again, in Flesh and Blood heroes equipment that maybe you don't want to slab, but maybe you want to just give that bit of extra protection. I mean, You could as well sleeve this way for single sleeving, I think, with these heavier ones, and double sleeve with the small ones, but whatever you fancy. So finally, we're going to give a quick open up to these final two colours. You can see those there. And this is my first time actually opening these, so it's quite nice to see what this. It's a nice textured back for that. That's the Artificer Grey. Again, you've got the nice curve. You'll be able to see it slightly better on these. You can see that curve there opposed to the sharp corner. We're going to pop that in here. Bear in mind, again, this is the thicker sleeve. Which, yeah, that's actually really quite nice. It's a little bit different, but not bad different. One thing maybe is that the heavy sleeves make it seem a bit foggy. So you might want to be careful with that, but it also makes it matte, so you're avoiding that little bit of extra glare. So I think most people are probably going to sleeve with the light inners, and then it's the wrong way around, and then the normal sleeves that way. That's actually really quite nice. And again, I can imagine, yeah, you're not going to get stabbed in the hand with them. It's going to make it shuffling, hand fluff, shuffling a little bit nicer. Yeah, I'm quite impressed with that. And then finally, the last colour, obviously, we said we will get one of everything out. And we've got these out here. So obviously the sleeves comes in packs of 100, and that's 100 obviously in the curve main colour or the inners. So you've standard sort of size there. So let's see what it's going to be like. So this has just got a normal, just a normal inner sleeve. So even if you're sleeving your current decks, you can just slip them straight in there. It's that nice sham red, I think. I know Barry will be interested in this. Because that's his Buzz the Bad colours on there. So yeah, I'm actually quite pleased with these sleeves. I think they're going to be quite nice, and especially with a deck that you're going to be using a lot, you might want to sleeve it that way. But yeah, so that's been all of our openings for the Heavy Play line. Again, let's get everything back on screen. So you've got your Shaman sleeves, your Artificer sleeves, your inners, both sizes. Let's get rid of all these cards off the side. You've got your ETB Playmat, which will magnetise, so you can stick your stuff to it. You've got your dice box, your regular deck box, your max deck box, your 133 max deck box, and your dice box max. So I'm really looking forward to getting some decks in these and giving them a run out. So yeah, if that sounds something like you're interested in, do check out the links in the description below to take a look at the Heavy Play store. Check out the other videos that we do on the channel, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.